Today's discussion focuses on U.S. foreign policy, global alliances, and the broader consequences of leadership decisions during times of conflict. As tensions rise internationally, political leaders are being questioned not only on strategy, but on credibility, consistency, and the long-term impact of their choices. At the heart of this conversation is a critical issue. How do shifts in leadership style influence America's role on the global stage?
Good morning. Good morning. Oh, it's so good to...
I think they're happy to see you.
Oh, it's good to be back. It's good to be back. Thank you all, everyone. And good morning. And thank you for all the work everyone here does and for taking the time this morning for us to all get together. And Rev, thank you for your long-standing leadership, for your friendship, for being an advisor, for being an inspiration, especially in the most difficult times. I thank you for that.
I thank you. I thank you for being here. Thank you. First gentleman is with us too. Doug, stand up, Doug. Let me go right into some of the things that I really wanted to talk to you about.
All right.
Today, even with the tenuous ceasefire, the war is no longer contained. It's become a regional war in terms of Iran. And we get mixed signals from the president, which is not strange to me, that one day we're going to stop, one day we're going to start, one day it's not a war, one day it is. And on Easter Sunday, using all kind of profanity and attacking a religion or mocking it. I mean, from the first strikes, you have been about your opposition to this war and to this engagement. And as you see it now, explain to me why there's such a danger on a global level, which I believe was the basis that you had opposed this engagement from the beginning and had said that. And it seems like, not that you wanted to be right, that you have been right, because we're losing lives on all sides and we don't even know why.
That's right. Well, you are correct, Rev. From the beginning, I have been unequivocally opposed to this war of choice that Trump has entered. Let us understand, first of all, this president is the first president of the United States since World War II who does not believe in the alliances that we have with friendly nations, does not.
This exchange reflects a broader debate about the use of military force and the role of alliances in modern geopolitics. The characterization of the conflict as a war of choice is significant, as it suggests a divergence from defensive or treaty-based engagements that have historically guided U.S. involvement abroad. References to NATO and post-World War II alliances highlight how much American influence has traditionally relied not only on military strength, but also on cooperation and shared norms. The key question is whether a shift toward unilateral decision-making strengthens national security, or risks weakening long-standing partnerships. How should leaders balance strategic independence with global cooperation?
Believe in the strength of them, the recognition of the history with them, and the importance that that relationship bears on our standing around the world, our influence around the world, not to mention our national security. This is the first president of the United States post-World War II who has not considered the United States of America to have a responsibility to be a standard bearer around international rules and norms such as sovereignty and territorial integrity. Look what he did as it relates, and what he has been doing as it relates to Ukraine. And why is this important? Because America's strength in the context of the globe and the world relies on a number of things. Yes, it relies on the fact that we have the most lethal fighting force in the world, our military, and it relies on what we call our soft power, which is the importance that we have placed in being a participant with other democracies around holding up international rules and norms such as human rights, such as the importance of respecting relationships. Foreign policy is a lot like your friendships in your personal life. The strength of the friendship is going to be based on some mutual recognition of the history of the friendship, what you've been through together. It's going to rely on trust, which is a reciprocal relationship. You give and you receive trust. It's a back and forth. Friendships rely on consistency. Do I follow through on what I say? What I've said? Well, none of this can be counted on when it comes to Donald Trump. None of it. It is, yes, evidence of his lack of character, but it is harmful to the people of America, not to mention people in allied nations around the world. So he enters into this war, a war of choice. Remember, the man said he got rid of their nuclear arsenal. Obliterated it, he said. You know how he likes to use those kind of words? Obliterated it. Which is not an ambiguous term. That means you took it out. Well, evidently he didn't do that. He is causing U.S. service members, 13 to have lost their lives, hundreds, it is estimated, of others to be injured, some very seriously, putting U.S. service members at risk. Abandoning alliances. He's been pointing fingers at NATO, right? So understand what that is. Those are friends of ours that we have had, and that bond formed mostly out of what happened in the 1930s, again, post-World War II. Under our administration, we expanded NATO. We brought 2 more countries in. He's now pointing fingers at these friends of ours who don't want to go along with his war of choice. And I mention all of this to say 2 things in particular, which keeps me up at night, frankly, as your former Vice President of the United States. And it is this. America has increasingly, under Donald Trump, become more unreliable as a partner to our friends, and America has increasingly, second point, lost influence. So when we otherwise could say, you know, in X country, we're concerned about human rights violations, even if it did not directly affect our national security, we had some level of authority to speak about these things in a way that we had earned the ability of people to listen and pay attention and maybe try to do better. We have become more unreliable under this man, and we are losing influence. And my concern is not only just the fact of it, but it's going to take a while and some serious work, way beyond the end of this man's term, to regain whatever we had. I will tell you, Rev, though, what gives me some sense of optimism includes this. As Vice President of the United States, I met with over 150 world leaders, presidents, prime ministers, chancellors, and kings. Many of them multiple times, and formed relationships. I have traveled the globe many times over, and I will share with the friends here One thing that I realized is that the relationship that we have with allied nations, yes, can be forged and reinforced by the leaders, but I will tell you, the true strength of those relationships is the people of those nations feeling some level of identity and connection with the people of our country. And that includes the people in this room. Because I will tell you, in meeting with so many foreign leaders, the first foreign leader that I invited to my home as vice president was then German Chancellor Angela Merkel. I had her over for breakfast. And we sat down, it was called a bilateral meeting, we sat down and we talked about everything. It was before Russia invaded Ukraine. We talked about Russia and China and a number of things. And then she leaned over to me and she said, "Please tell me what's going on in your country with voting." Because she was very concerned about the erosion that she was reading about and hearing about in the United States around obstruction of voting rights. I bring it back to Nan because here's the point there. She was fully aware of the leaders and the activists and the heroes that we honor who fought for voting rights. She knew of the struggle. She knew of the work it requires, and she knew what was at stake. And I will tell the folks here that, again, part of the relationship that we will ever have with the people of other nations will be because of folks like the folks in this room who are always fighting for the ideals of America, always fighting for what we know to be true commitment to freedom, to justice, to liberty, and to equality. So there we go.
This conversation highlights a fundamental tension in global leadership between unilateral decision-making and the maintenance of long-standing alliances built on trust, consistency, and shared values. While critics argue that recent actions have strained international relationships and reduced U.S. influence, supporters may see them as a reassertion of national independence. The long-term impact will likely depend on how future leaders rebuild or redefine those global partnerships. What do you think? Should foreign policy prioritize strong alliances or independent action? Share your perspective in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more balanced, fact-based analysis of the world's most important political issues.